everybody. We are so excited to be back again for another episode of Baseball Moms. We want to do a quick shout out to Prime Sports and to Game 7, Dave and Dave. It is so exciting to be here, and we're thankful that, we have this opportunity for Tiffani and I to do Mom Talk. Thanks to them. So just wanted to quickly thank them and do a little shout out. And
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so fun. And Tiffany and I actually have been chatting a little bit off camera about different things. And we're talking about some things that probably other moms, other dads, other baseball parents could probably relate to. And one of the biggest things was the fact that off season, our boys train so hard and they are focusing on all the things to get ready for the season. And, you get excited, and then high school baseball comes and you're like, let's do this.
Yep.
And then here it is, a, curveball is thrown at you and an injury, something that you have no control over. It happens and it sets you back, like you can't play. And I know that for you guys are dealing with this with Coop, that he had something, come up, and you guys are kind of dealing with this.
Yeah, it's something, Jenny, that I've never really quite thought of, because we've Cooper's never really had a season-ending injury. My daughter has had a couple in basketball, but never Cooper hasn't. So it's kind of new waters for us during the baseball season. Cooper's second game of his varsity career, he was at first and about to catch a ball, and the throw kind of brought him off the bag, and he tagged the runner, and the runner ran into him, and so he was out for a little bit, and he was concussed, but that's not what's keeping him sidelined. He was, we went through the concussion protocol, and we were like, we're just going to take him. His wrist has been bothering him for actually a couple months, but we just kept, we gave him a cortisone shot, kind of kept with the medicine. He didn't want to, miss high school baseball season. He wanted to go through the tryout process and everything. But come to find out, we got like 3 or 4 x-rays on his wrist, and we got a couple ultrasounds on it, and nothing was wrong. It was just a little inflamed. But this time, going back to the hospital with this concussion, one of the orthopedics recommended getting an MRI on his hand. So it comes to be that he broke his hamate bone, which is due to, normally when you get an injury, Jenny, it's like you're in action. Maybe you're rolling an ankle during basketball or soccer, or, Cooper's injury kind of is an overuse injury. So the doctor actually kind of said to him, this is a detriment of your hard work, because the hamate bone, and a lot of people don't know, it's right in your palm here, and it's right where the end of the bat, it's like when you're swinging and that contact with the ball, it's just an overuse injury. So anyway, he had surgery last week. He's doing great. He'll be fine for summer, but he may have a few weeks left in him before high school season ends, but I don't want to rush through that. So we've never dealt with this on this level, and to tell a boy that, kind of eats, drinks, breathes the games.
Right.
Listen, you're going to sit out, and there's other, God has other plans for you in this season of your life. It was tough at first. And like you and I have talked off camera, devastating to him. And I even shed a few tears by myself. But there's lots to learn from it. And you just stay positive. And, he's just going to turn into a cheerleader from the dugout.
I know it's one of those things, like you said, there's some kind of lesson there, and there is absolutely a reason for it. And maybe it's to have him be even a better teammate than he was, or to be that, sideline, cheerleader, whatever it is for his team. And
absolutely.
But it is hard, and
it's definitely
it is
hard,
things that you're, having to deal with, and especially when you work so hard, it's hard for anyone, but especially as a mom, because I think we feel things so deep that watching that and seeing that, and, for them, you feel it. And I know for us, because we are just as excited to watch our boys do their thing.
Absolutely. I mean, we're there every step of the way with them, and it is. And I'm probably an optimist to a fault, is what my husband says. But, we sat Cooper down, and we were like, okay, this is something you've never navigated before, but how can we make this positive? I mean, how do you tell a 16-year-old, hey, you broke your hand, this is positive during baseball season? But, we went through it, and we said to him, this is your time to be the loudest in the dugout, cheer on your teammates. And Jenny, I said to him, I mean, Drew and I talked it over with him, and we were like, just be a force in the dugout. Just make sure you're encouraging. And first game back, when he's in the dugout, I'm over there looking, and yeah, he's sure on the fence. You know what? I have a phone call. That's probably one of my children right now. Anyway, he was on the fence. He was cheering him on. But then the next thing I know, Jenny, I go get a drink at the concession stand, water, by the way. And I come back, and he's warming up a pitcher one-handed. He's running out and picking up the bats one-handed when people hit and ran on the base. And he's running out in between innings, high-fiving with his good hand and giving out the gloves and the hats in between innings to his teammates. And you know, I was just like, boy, I just kind of told him the bare minimum to do. But I mean, he found ways beyond that. And that was kind of a proud mom moment for me because, you know, he can kind of get in his feelings and get really, as most boys do, they're not very well at expressing themselves. And Cooper's no different. He kind of stays in his own thoughts. He's not a loud or boisterous kid. So to see him do those things, it made me really proud because he was finding a way to contribute, even though it's not on the field. There's ways to contribute off the field. And I'm happy. Like you said, I think that could make him a better teammate in a way,
I agree.
you know? So
yes, definitely. Yeah. And it is hard, but seeing him do all that, it's kind of like, okay,
I'm proud.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And you know, another funny thing, Jenny, is, you know, Drew and I, my husband and I have been to all the games since he has gotten hurt. And at least if we're both not there, one of us is there. And I got a comment the other day or a question just saying, hey, here, Cooper's not even playing, you know? And another thing, it kind of made me think, I knew why I was there, but to relate it to this person, when your son makes a team, I mean, it's not, yeah, we're there to watch our son play, but I mean, it's a team. Like, it's not just about Coop, you know, we're there, we're baseball fans. We want to support the team and encourage them and, you know, be there. It's not just about our kid, and baseball is such a lot of sports are just team game, and it's not just about one person. And I wanted to set an example for Coop too, that, you know, we're telling him, be a good teammate, be supportive. I want him to see his parents in the stands being supportive of his friends. And I think that's something Drew and I find very important. Just because he's out doesn't mean we're not wishing the team success.
Correct.
You know, or something like that. So that's even been neat for us, just to kind of sit back, relax, not as nervous, but you know, there's been such exciting games that we've been witness to so far this season at France South Central. So it's been a little bit nice in that aspect, just to sit back and cheer them on, you know.
It is so true. And I think that sometimes, unless you're in it, you don't see that. And from experience we've seen in the past, there unfortunately are those parents that do only cheer for their child, or that do, and it's really unfortunate and really sad to see. Sure. We have been a part of some really good teams, thankfully, and it's one of those things that it is a team sport. It is not one person that can win that game or lose it.
No,
so it is important to root for an entire team and cheer them on. And even if your kiddo is out or can't play, absolutely being there to support. I think that it's important for your kids to see that. Sure. And I think we've talked about this too, that a lot of, you know, with baseball, it becomes like part of that family. Like you spend a lot of time with these same people and teammates and families. And I think that they do become, you know, family, or you spend all that time. You know, it's funny because a lot of times you don't even realize the impact that some of these people have on your life or your kiddo's life. And we lost my father-in-law about a week or so ago, and we were out of town. You know, he lived in a small town, Ironton, Missouri, and so that's where the services were. And here we are, hour and a half drive from St. Louis, and we're sitting there, and in comes one of Jace's coaches that coached him for a few years, and his wife, who is still one of my good friends, but I did not know her before baseball. And when you talk about having kindness and impact on someone, like, you start to realize these people that truly do care about you, and that no, not every single relationship is going to be meaningful like that. You're not going to always have those relationships that last outside of baseball when it's done. But man, some of them are going to be super important and are going to be meaningful forever. And to see, you know, the Millers come in and support our family and be there, like, you just can't, like, that's stuff that you just can't explain to people, that it's more than just a game.
It is.
That sometimes it is so much more than that. So
Absolutely.
for me, it was so nice to see. And that's why you said it's not just about your kiddo. It's not just only a game sometimes. It becomes so much more. And it is life moments like that that you're like, we have been blessed to be able to be a part of something that is bigger than just a sport, I guess.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. And some of my best friends are from baseball, and meeting, and some of our very best friends that, you know, we hang out with every weekend, and we, you know, they're on Cooper and his friend, that they're on the same baseball team all through, you know, kindergarten, first grade on up. And the girl is Scout's age, and, you know, we hang out with them, go to church with them, we go on vacations with them, and we all met just because Cooper and his friend Drew met in kindergarten and became best buds. So like those type of relationships, they're just irreplaceable. And we wouldn't have had that if Coop didn't start this game with a bat and a ball, you know. And there's so many, I mean, we're so blessed. I love so many of the baseball moms that we travel with in the summer, and the moms at the high school level. It's so rewarding. It just goes far beyond the field, you know. And if you can get a good group of families, that's like gold.
It is. And, you know, that's why it's kind of funny when, you know, I've heard it before, and I think that I was maybe telling you, could have been Brian at some point, that we had one time, or probably more than once, I've had people say, you know, oh, the moms, they're just so emotional. If the moms would just sit back and let the dads handle everything. The moms are so emotional. They take everything so personal. And it's funny because we joke about those, but I kind of think about it, and I'm like,
what?
A couple points there. One, I would like to see the next time that a dad carries a human being inside their body for 9 months and see how personal it is to you.
Yes.
And two, yes, we do take it personal. I would say that our children are super personal to us. I mean,
just a little.
This much. So yes, we do take things personal. Like, that is, you know, my kiddo. And so a lot of times things are. But then the flip side to that is sometimes taking things personal are amazing, because exactly these friendships and exactly, you know, the connections you have with these people, most of those that continue on is because the moms kind of nourish those
100%.
And you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it is. Could you imagine dads setting up the play dates or the weekends or the vacations?
No. Or packing when you go somewhere. No offense, Drew and Travis. Sure, you're one of the few. No, I mean, no. And that's kind of like what you say, really something I've often thought about. When did we take this left turn where moms can't be a little protective of their kids a little bit, you know? And I'm not saying to the extreme, you know, but I've often, you and I had talked about this, and I've actually thought about it a lot since we've talked. And there's a difference between coddling your kid and being protective of them, and then just wanting to be a good parent and be in their corner. Yes. I think sometimes those lines are blurred, and the intentions are not always perceived in the right way. I don't consider myself an overbearing parent, but there are times where I've probably had moments where I could have looked like that. I just care and love them so much. Like, love them so. I mean, they're the best thing that's ever come into my life. And I always say that my most magical days in my life were the days I became a mom to both of them. And I think sometimes as moms, it could be looked at as, well, mama's boy or mama's girl or mama's, you know, this and that. But if it were the dad saying the same things we were saying, you know, it would just be perceived in a different way. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
and I wouldn't say, because I know my personality, and I'm not going to say I try to stay in my lane.
Oh, sure.
And I'm not going to say I never kind of veered out.
Veered out. Yeah, I think we all have. It's okay.
I mean, I get that, but it is. I think the most important thing for me is that I am super protective of my kids. I try to stay back, but I always want my kids to know that I have their backs.
Yes.
And that I am their biggest fan, biggest cheerleader. And, those are the things. And so sometimes, it is hard. And you do, maybe in someone else's eyes cross that line. But I mean, it's your kids, right?
You know what, Jenny, though? If the worst thing, and I always say this to my husband because we have these conversations, like if the worst thing someone can say at my funeral is that I was too much into my kids, then I lived a pretty good life. You know what I mean? Or if I was too
absolutely,
and I also think life experiences sometimes can make you a little overprotective. I feel like my parents were overprotective of me at times, and they just wanted what was best for me, not to where they were sheltered me, but I just know how loving and caring. I came from such a loving and caring household and family, and where we were very affectionate. We always said we loved each other, and if I say that too much to my kids, then I think I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay. And if people think that's weird, that's okay too. But
yeah,
I'm good with it.
I think that sometimes we talk about our kids. Like when you're being coached or the coach is hard on you, it means because they see something in you, and that you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if you're a coach, you have to have thick skin. I think if you're a sports parent, you have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
I think as a mom, I don't care if it's baseball mom or sports mom, you have to have thick skin. And one thing about me that I've learned over time is that, I do like to, have fun. I like people, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to change who I am for anybody else. My kids, they're my people. They come first, and I am not going to, change who I am. I'm sorry if that, ruffles feathers. My favorite saying is that I will braid water before I will worry about who does or doesn't like me. And
oh my gosh, I want to get to that point in my life where I didn't worry about what people thought.
I think it's once I turned 50, I was like,
You're 50.
I'm 51, actually.
Girl, killing it.
So I just, I just have learned that
that's awesome.
You cannot please everybody.
No, you can't.
So for me, I know the people in my life that are important. My kids being, number one. And I laugh a lot when people are like, you are crazy the amount of time you guys spend, at the ball fields, the amount of money you spend, the amount of this, that. And I thought, I would not change it for anything in the world. Yeah. I just wouldn't. And
right. And that's just their opinion. They haven't had the taste of the baseball in life. How awesome it is. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that's just their opinion. I get that. We've been told that many a times, and you see that stuff on social media. Like, why do you make your kids play these type of sports and pay so much money? Well, there's so many wonderful answers to that. We're not paying for them to play a sport. We're paying for them to learn other things other than baseball, Correct. I mean, there's so many more things that come with that. And I agree. I wouldn't change it. It's not for everybody, but I mean, I certainly enjoy it. Our family certainly enjoys it. My daughter loves going on baseball trips. I mean, free hotel, she can swim, she can get a tan, she gets the concession stand food all the time. I know you don't like concession stands.
I do like it sometimes.
You do? Okay.
Sometimes.
We spend our savings at concession stands on the weekends. We try out all the different food. But anyway, it's not for everybody, but the people probably watching and supporting our show kind of probably they think it's worth it.
Yes.
Too,
I think they're all about that baseball life.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not about baseball, I'm sorry. I don't know why Jenny's pretty.
You're so funny.
Sorry for boring you.
I don't know. I just really do. Like I said, I think that there's so many more lessons, and I think it is great. And I would never have my kids do something that they absolutely didn't love. I wouldn't put the time, effort, and money if it wasn't something that they thoroughly enjoyed. Love. So,
you know what I've also thought about, and this is kind of off topic, but I've also wondered if baseball was your second sport. Gosh, that would take over your summer. How would you play your first sport? You know what I mean? Have you ever thought about that, Jenny? I mean, your boys haven't.
Yes, Jace was a club soccer and club baseball, but I
wow.
think that it was always half and half. And then one day, I think baseball just completely stole his
Took
heart,
over.
which was nice. I
Yeah.
think made his dad happy.
Sure.
I, loved baseball more as well, but I wanted him to be happy. So it was nice that he chose that and eventually did because, time wise, you're exactly right.
It's a commitment.
And you have to put a lot of time off season if you
in the
want to be
summer,
the best you can be. So
Absolutely. So shout out to those moms and those athletes that play baseball all through the summer and have other things to juggle. I don't know how we would do it.
And I
really
just
don't.
want to give a little bit of, not that probably the tournament guys really care, but just so you know, I am a much happier person when we have games after 10 a.m. So just so you know, I mean, I'm a whole nother person at 8 a.m. versus
Sure.
10. So shout out when you throw us at a 10 a.m. and later game. Woo! So, well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. I know we got kind of heavy on this episode, but sometimes we just don't know where we're going to go with this.
No,
We just like to spill the mom tea. So hopefully you will tune in again. And stick with us. We have so much more stuff to talk about in future episodes, and we are loving hanging and chatting with you guys.
Yes, thank you all for your support.
Great job.
Good job, sister.